Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? Welcome back to Off the Rails podcast. This is episode 13, and I am one of your hosts, Kate, along with my newly haircutted friend across the way.
9.5 inches gone.
9.5 inches. Are you kidding? That's awesome.
Not kidding, but it took me 4 years, unlike Kate, who cut her hair twice and donated it in the time it took me to grow it once.
Not quite that long, but almost, yes.
But I'm Kellie, her faithful partner.
Yes. So we were both on a little quest to grow our hair and donate it on behalf of people that we really love and care for that are going through a crazy cancer battle. And if you're one of those, we have been praying for you and think about you and pray for God's strength and provision as you fight this battle. And, of course, all those who are surrounding loved ones that are fighting the battle. It's definitely, I think cancer kind of evens the playing field, right? A little bit, because we all have experience with it one way or another. So anyway, that's not where I was expecting the beginning of this episode to get started. You know? But yeah, we're trying to do good things. So we welcome you back, whether you're here again for the first time or you've been hanging with us for a bit. So glad to have you, and we are definitely appreciative of your time and for you to be tuning in with us. So we're going to head right into the way all of our episodes start, and that is with a confession from behind the table. And you're up, my dear.
It seems like all my embarrassing moments happened in my 17 years of doing young adult mission trip.
Well, sure. Because they inspire. Young adults tend to inspire embarrassing moments.
Well, and they love to bring them up. So that's how
and they never let you forget,
exactly.
Do they? Right. Sounds about right.
And actually, this story came up because my son had made a comment to me like, Mom, you're kind of like out of the box, like you do crazy things, but your motivation is good. But sometimes you're a little out there. So
a little?
A little. Okay, maybe a lot.
Anyway.
So here's the story. So we used to go on camping weekends in August. Oh gosh, the hottest month to go on a tent camping weekend
right?
Near a body of water. So everybody would kind of bring stuff. It was a great weekend, and I would come with my quote unquote zany games, which started off really like my first year in ministry and still lives on. So one of the things I looked up is, thinking, hey, water, swimming a lot, beach ball, croquet. And I'm like, cool. So I just needed 2 beach balls.
Water, beach ball, croquet. Okay, just trying to track
like
with the thinking there.
Yeah, beach
gotcha.
ball connects to the water. So if the beach balls wouldn't go to waste after my zany game, we could throw them around in the water. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
So divided them up in 2 teams, and we did croquet. But the problem is when you have a beach ball, you have to get a large enough something to go have the beach ball.
Are they called wickets?
Is that what they're called?
Croquet wickets, isn't that like the thing that the balls
you
need to hit through?
That's a blast from the
I
past.
could be wrong, but I think maybe it's a wicket.
I had a bunch of those in my garage.
There are definitely wickets in croquet, but whether that's what you're referring to right now, I have
use
no
them
idea.
now to hold up my lawn decor. But anyway, so back at the weekend, I had to find something large enough so these balls could go under.
Right.
And it just so happened, you're running around the building the day before, camp, and you're trying to get yourself together. And I go, oh, there's the blood drive signs. And some of them had nothing on them.
Right.
Because I didn't need the wording. I just needed.
Yeah.
So
you're talking those lawn signs that like for political people, like vote for so and so. So that's what you're. That's what you're talking about. We had a ton
of them for this blood drive, and we had worship in the park, and
right.
And anyway, I was like, woo, gold mine. So some of them were empty, and some of them still had blood drive signs on them, and I didn't really think about it. So we take a double lot at this campground. We're like in the middle of the campground, high traffic. And I'm setting up the course, and we start playing, and all of a sudden, whoop, 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 sheriff's car drives up. 2 sheriffs walk out, and they're like, who's in charge here? And, of course, everybody points to me.
Right.
I'm like, dang, no one's going to take it from me. And I say, oh, that would be me. And he goes, what are you doing here? And I said, well, this is young adult group from this church, and we're just having a nice weekend. No. I have gotten many calls that are saying you're holding a blood drive here at the campground. And I'm like, oh, no. So here's the sense of relief at first.
Right.
Like, oh, my gosh, I am so sorry. I said, we're playing this game called beach ball croquet. And they needed these signs to make it work. And then they lost whatever smile they had. It disappeared. And they were unimpressed by my creativity.
Oh.
And we're like, you need to take that down.
Oh.
Because it would be violating number, blah, blah. I mean, they were very serious.
Wow.
And I said, okay, I'll do that.
Interesting.
And they're like, no, like right now. So we ran around, took the blood drive signs off. And meanwhile, as we're running around, a chuckle starts, like with a couple of the campers and it's starting to go. But these guys stood there, arms folded, waiting for me. And then I just came back and said, all right, here they are. We're throwing them in the garbage. And they said, okay, that's good. This was just a warning. We won't give you a violation for trying to hold a blood drive at the campground.
Wow. Must have been a slow day in that municipality or whatever.
So they get in the car and they drive off. And then there's this collective, oh my gosh, Kellie, what? And I'm like, now we have a story about when you made the cops come.
And that's not her only story, folks. You're going to have to tune into a future episode where cops have shown up and, gotten on Kellie for something.
Exactly. Yes, which is why I had to go work as a chaplain so I could continue to stay out of trouble.
Yes.
When you're staff, maybe the humor is definitely there, and we'll follow you around the station for weeks. But yes, come with me for beach ball croquet with a blood drive sign. And I guess it was like quite a few because he was like, a half a dozen people have complained you're holding a blood drive. Where are you holding it? And I'm like, I'm playing beach ball croquet.
Well, would that be the worst thing in the world if you're holding a blood
Guess you
drive?
need a permit.
I mean,
and I did not get a permit.
Well, sure.
Yeah, so that's just another story where the cops got called because I did something silly. The ministry.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Sure.
So we are grateful that today's topic has come from a good friend of our church and a phenomenal leader and servant within our community where we serve. And her name is Kellie, and she is actually one of our city council members of the town where we serve. And she had said, "Oh, I love your podcast. I've been listening. Got a couple ideas for you because we always ask all y'all for some ideas. So please send them our way." So this is from Kellie. So we're really grateful, and she wanted us to have a conversation about why community involvement matters, and we're going to look at it from a kind of a couple of different lenses, but really grateful. And it's interesting that Kellie requested that because I think she is the queen of community involvement.
Yeah,
she is impressive. Like I said, she is one of our current city council members, and it took her 2 elections to finally get elected. And she practices what she preaches. She always had this platform of wanting to be part of the community and was going to prove it to people that she was going to be present and active, and it is amazing. Right. She's a mom of 2 young boys, and she's always seeking out ways to give back to the community, to be involved in the community, to patronize within the community, and she's really fantastic. So we're really blessed to have her in our life, but especially our town, our city is extremely blessed to have her serving in the capacity that she is. So Kellie, this one is for you. So,
what is that, a beer commercial? This one's for you.
This bud's for you. There we go. If only we were sponsored by Budweiser.
Exactly. That would be nice.
If anyone's listening, feel free. I'm not sure how our board of elders would think of that, but hey, whatever. My. Yeah. So, and I think one of the reasons why, and this is not for us to be kind of tooting our own horn at all.
No.
But one of the main reasons why we've been able to get to know Kellie and so many other people within the city, really is because of you, Kellie. And it's the vision that you had, geez, about 10 years ago now. It's getting to be a minute that, I mean, this, I don't want to preach, but I'm going to preach. That,
Amen,
hey,
sister.
That's right. So, churches have to be involved in their community. They have to get outside their four walls of their sanctuary. It's what has been commanded of us and whatever. And thankfully you took that seriously years ago and worked on creating relationships within the city. So it's because of that, because of those greater relationships that, that we have city council members and whoever supporting us in our ministry and mission and whatever. So, so we've just been really fortunate to be a part of this community in ways that I think we never expected.
Absolutely. And when it first started, it was like nobody knows we're here. So
right. And that's problematic.
Yes.
Everybody should know every church in your city.
Right.
One way or another.
What it did is we had to be the initiator. We had to go directly to the mayor, to police chief, fire chief, city council members and say, how can we serve you? What are some ways that our church can volunteer, can help you? And at first, there's another funny story I'll share in one of my confessions. But at first people were like, what? But we already have people. Well, that's great. Maybe we could do something that would free them up to do greater things. And so it felt like it took a long time for us we knew specific people in the city, but we didn't know the greater citizens of the city. So it's been a journey. And then all of a sudden now, in the last 3 or 4 years, now the city knows who we are, and we're often invited to participate in prayer, that kind of thing. And, there's one thing ministers like to do. We'll pray anywhere.
Right. Well, and they've also reached out to us, especially during the pandemic.
Yes.
Where we needed, the city really wanted to figure out how to help our frontline workers at our local hospital. And they came our way, which was really cool. But cool. Also in some ways frustrating that we were kind of the only ones that they approached, but because we had a relationship with them, and again, preaching but not preaching, that with all the churches in our community, right, would have been nice if it was a more collective atmosphere.
But what we did do, and you were a huge part of the physical labor of that, is those were in the early days where so they allowed us to reach out to the city of Livonia. So people would drive up and everybody's in a mask, and we would have bins out there, and we couldn't touch them for 3 days because back in the airborne scare, and and then church members would take them to their houses and put these bags together with items that the medical staff requested.
Yeah, so we were asked to put together blessing bags for nurses and doctors, and with Gatorade and the ear savers. Originally the ear savers that were all kind of wonky, and now they're a much better whatever, and mints and just
then so the city showed up.
The community was amazing.
The goal was 500 bags, and we had 1,300, and then a still more staggered in, and it was amazing.
Yes,
it was. That was inspiring.
Yeah, so I think really the point of today's episode is we kind of want to talk about why it is important to be involved in your community. And when, in this particular instance, we're going to define community as our neighborhoods and our cities and the towns in which we live. We're not really going to talk about the church community too much, because this is for, I'll say for everybody, but anyway, you know what I mean. So I recently came across a really cool article that was put out by Mayo Clinic from August of 2023. So this is really, really recent. And they talk about why being involved in your community is really, really good for you in a variety of ways. So first of all, it improves your physical and mental health. So if you're out serving in your community, you're physically doing. So that means you are getting out of your house, you're going from point A to point B, so there's a little bit of exercise in there. And of course, depending on how you're serving, there could be way more physical not working out, but physical use. And then just simply being a part of helping and being around other people and knowing that you're giving back does something big time for your mental health.
Yeah, it's like making a difference.
Exactly. Exactly. So they also talked that it provides you with a sense of purpose. And then it also nurtures new and existing relationships. And when all of these things are happening in the greater community, your whole community thrives.
Yes.
And it's just a better place. And it's a place that people want to live, and it's a place that people want to raise their families. And you feel that better sense of connection.
And you get out of your own group of family and friends. You're getting out into the city, and it's amazing how relationships are built when you're doing physical work. Right. Whether you're, putting together, kits that are going to go out into the city to those who need it most, or you're, just taking part. And what's also really great is that there's all these sectors in a city, and it's really powerful because you're only one sector. So we would be the faith sector.
Nonprofit.
Yeah, and there's so many other sectors, like the business sector and the arts, and it's amazing. I think there's 7 sectors in the city of Livonia.
Okay.
So my goal was to have as many in this building as possible to try to reach out to those, and how could we do that? How could we bring those sectors into the building, and how can we go out? And also, we can learn a lot from each other. Businesses can learn about how to give to nonprofits, and we can learn a lot from businesses, especially when it looks at, like the corporation that is a church, so it's really neat. I think it makes you a sponge. You get out, you meet different people. You're like, hey, how's it going at your place? And what are you seeing? Or maybe all of a sudden you're seeing the same things within your city. Like, it seems to be like a food shortage. Maybe we got to start focusing on food.
Right.
And that's actually something that happened in our city.
Yeah. Yes. And that's one of the benefits of being involved. It opens up your eyes to what's needed. What are the needs out there? What's necessary, and how do we engage in that, and how should we engage in it? And but if you just stay stuck either in your church or in your house, you're not really knowing what's going on around you.
And I would throw this out too. We have a lot of folks that are homebound. So let's say you can't get out of your house.
Yes.
There are other things you can do.
Oh, for sure.
There's mailings, there's cards. No one has cards anymore.
Right.
I don't know if the junk mail galore. It's always nice to receive a card.
Yes.
Phone calls.
Yep.
I mean, reaching out to the community, offering a nonprofit. Hey, what do you need? Do you want me to order some things? Do you want me to reach out to people?
Yeah.
Let them know about. I mean, there's things you can do if you physically can't get out of your home to still participate.
Right.
That it's kind of like, Jesus invites everybody to the table. And obviously created community, and that's all kind of when I hear community, I think of a table. Like, we come gathered around, we meet in board meetings, we go, we collectively meet and figure out how we're going to serve a population, and it's always around a table.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, so benefits, clearly there's going to be a ton of benefits when you have a whole community being involved with each other and involved in each other's lives and involved in the different sectors. It's going to have huge benefits for everybody. So one of the things that it does is it helps to address social issues like food insecurity, which you just mentioned, homelessness, and environmental challenges. So, sometimes people are like, oh, we don't have any homeless in our city. And I think you've mentioned this before, Kellie. It's like, oh, we do. Yeah. You got to hello.
Right.
Pay attention. Where are you? Yes. Yes. Another thing is that when you serve within your community, you give support to the nonprofits that don't have the manpower necessary to do their mission, whatever that is. And there are so many amazing nonprofits in every town. So you can easily just call up any of them and just say, hey, what do you need? Right. How can I help?
You know what's really good about that? It's not that the church has to create
No.
something.
No.
You literally reach out to a nonprofit. You can invite them to do like a minute for mission. You send some volunteers. Go, what do you need?
Right.
Well, most often it's bodies.
Right.
You know, it's volunteers.
Yeah, bodies and money.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right.
So basically, you reach out to the nonprofit, you like what they're doing, it goes with your vision.
Right.
And all of a sudden, all you're doing is volunteering, and making a way. We don't have to create it. We don't have to put a committee together to figure it all out. It's already happening in the world, and we get to be a part of that.
Right.
And that is awesome.
Yes. So those folks out there who are, I guess, experts in the world of like church planting or thriving churches, they always say that as a church, Jesus is already doing a thing in your city.
Right.
Figure out what that is. Like you just said, you don't have to go and figure out, what should we do? What should we create? More often than not, you don't need to create anything in your, as far as in your church for service, because something's already happening around you that could use some assistance. And that makes you more relevant. Whereas if you, let's say you're planting a church, you come into a city and you create this thing, you think that, this is what this town needs, but it's not what it needs at all. And people are like, what's that church here for? What are they doing? So it's all looking, where's Jesus already at work?
Yeah.
And join in.
Right. And also knowing, like you stress, knowing what the needs are. Like you may have this awesome idea, but it turns out there's many churches doing that awesome idea.
Right.
So it's really kind of like, I think in years past, like you do these mission trips and you're like, hey, we're going to bring Jesus when we go internationally or down the block. And like, nope, Jesus is already there doing some good stuff. And we want to be a part of it. And no, you cannot do everything. So have your vision in mind and what are some key areas that would be helpful. And one of the things we added in the bulletin some years ago, and Kate has her pulse on nonprofits. And so every week in the bulletin, there could be 2 places, there could be 5 places. All our members and those who receive our email blast with our bulletin can see, hey, if you want to volunteer this week or coming up, here's the names of different places. They're within our community, close drive. Here's what you would be doing, and just go. Like, here's your contact person, great. What's really fun is when that nonprofit sends us a photo of our church member or church members going, hey, thanks, thanks, church.
Right. And we're like, we had no idea that they were there serving. And that's even better.
That's great.
Yes.
So just providing opportunities.
Yeah. So serving in your community also fosters a sense of belonging, connection. And of course, that strengthens community bonds. I kind of chuckle sometimes, and you probably do too, where we really get random phone calls a lot where people say, hey, since we know who you are, we've got this thing, can you help?
Yeah.
A lot of unfortunately, I mean, we are limited in our resources, just like any other nonprofit. We only have so many dollars and people, but it is, I always find it flattering. It's frustrating if I ever have to say, oh my goodness, we don't have the ability to help in that area, but maybe I have an idea of someone who could. But I am always appreciative when random people from the city just call us and say, hey, we wanted to start with you because we have a relationship with you and we know that you're involved in the community. Can you help do X, Y, or Z, whether it's build a ramp for someone or help in a hoarder situation or just get a lot of calls. But that's, again, you strengthen community bonds when you get to know others and can point people in directions that they need to go to get what they need or to solve a problem.
Yeah, that's great because you have these relationships outside the building. And things change inside the city. So one of the questions, at least once a year, we get asked is, hey, there's lots of nursing homes in the city. Which ones do you think are the best? Well, some close, some open. So we will reach out to someone in the community that has a direct line to that and can give us like right off the top of the head, okay, here's the top 3 I would choose if it was my
Right.
family member. Here's a contact person. Here's a phone number. Go. And It's
Right.
like, oh my gosh, that took me like 2 minutes. It took me a text.
Right.
So, so the relationship building that took a while to build, once it's established, it's amazing the reach.
Right.
Just amazing.
Well, in a way, assisting community, being involved. Let me see if I'm gonna say this right, but it's kind of like asking a friend for a recommendation for a restaurant. You know, it's like, hey, whatever the situation, I need a recommendation for a restaurant. Like, oh, I went to this one place and you're gonna love it and whatever. And I think it's the same thing with being involved in your community and knowing what's out there and knowing what's possible and what's helpful and
Yeah, we're definitely better together than apart.
always.
Yeah.
Always. Yes. Oh, good segue, Kelly, because the next bullet point that I have is that community brings solidarity. We're better together than when we're apart. And when you're in solidarity, that also brings hope. And we need that. And how often, I hate to, when bad things happen, when really bad things happen within a community, that you all come together around it. And people put all of their stuff aside and surround the issue, the problem, the tragedy, and that helps build hope, especially if you've got people that are suffering the most from the tragedy or grieving or whatever. And when you come together, it brings hope, and that's so needed. And that solidarity piece, I hate to say it seems like we see it most when there's tragedy. But that's something that I really wish we all could work on better.
Yeah.
Is how to be in solidarity with one another, even if we don't agree on things.
It doesn't mean we have to agree.
Right. We can still be in solidarity as human beings.
Yeah. I think, too, it's really important for pastors to speak to whatever is happening in your community. If something big, we've had a couple of city tragedies.
Yep.
And the city initiates, like, let's help a family that's gone through this hardship. And that is incredible to me. So then the city initiates the physical, like, here's how to donate, here's where to volunteer, all that and kind of information. And meanwhile, people from the city, sometimes positions of leadership, will walk into the office and go, where was God? What just happened?
Right.
Like, I don't understand.
Right.
And
that's when they come to us.
Right.
I mean, when they walk in the
Yes.
office, they walk in the church office
Yeah.
looking for us for
Yeah.
answers to the bigger questions.
Right. Or sometimes
Yeah.
from a scene texting, like, I can't make sense of this. So
a first responder on a scene texting
Yeah.
you, that's what you mean?
yes.
Okay.
Or even like church members out in the world, like, I don't understand. Like, this just happened. So I really feel that to be relevant, not only are you in community, but you're also, as a pastor, brave enough, bold enough to stand on your faith in Christ and to say, you know what, that's a really hard question. Yeah. Why did this? So, for example, the Texas flooding most recently. So what happened was I had a workshop planned on self-compassion, and that was one of the worst days with the Texas flooding.
Yeah.
So I've got 40 people in a room, and I was ready to start, and I said, you know what, before we start this workshop, can we just take a few minutes and before I offer this prayer for all those involved, let me just say a couple of words about, where is God in this tragedy?
Right.
And so it was like, it took all of 5 minutes, addressed it, did my best to answer my rendition of the question, said a prayer, and then I looked up and said, okay, all right, let's start our workshop. And I didn't know I'd be doing that the day before. But whatever was happening, I think they found quite a number of the girls that day. And here you're talking about compassion.
Right. For yourself.
For yourself, yeah. Like, how do you do that? So, but anyway, I think sometimes pastors are afraid to do that, and plus it's kind of scary. You're not like, hey, let me tell you a story about how Jesus loves you. Oh my gosh, where's Jesus in a flood?
Right.
So it's like, okay, but if we don't speak up and speak out, and then we offered if people wanted to give to the flood relief, even though it's in Texas and it's not near who we are, we're still one body. And so I think, again, another way to be involved.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And then finally, for the benefits of the community is that when you start to see things that are not quite right in your community, things that need addressing, then that's advocacy. And then you can start advocating for those who maybe can't advocate for themselves. Again, strengthening your community, and again, inspiring hope in those around you. So plenty of benefits. And I'm sure that probably preaching to the choir, like this stuff is pretty intuitive. But I think it might be a little helpful just to kind of look on a bigger scale when you put all these little pieces together, like, oh, okay, so this is how this all comes together for building a stronger, better community. Because unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of decline in communities. And I'm in the process of teaching a morality and ethics class at a local seminary. And I've been learning, I think I'm learning more than my students are when I'm putting these classes together, but saw a really cool thing, learned a bit about like the biblical justice and what that looks like. And it starts with when injustice starts with self-preservation. So if you're so concerned about yourself, then that starts the degradation of larger communities. If it's all about you, then your family is going to start declining. When families start declining, communities start declining. And when communities start declining, whole civilizations start declining. When it's all about yourself and trying to figure out how to take care of you, and it's me, and if all of us have that same mindset, things aren't gonna. It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get, as a shout out to our friend Jason, very Lord of the Flies like. Just got off a mission trip with him, and man, all he talked about, because one of our students. So Jason is one of the adult leaders in our youth mission here, and he's an English teacher, and we went on a mission trip together a month ago, and we had a bunch of students, and one of our other students had also just finished reading Lord of the Flies, and it's like Jason's favorite book to read. So man, the amount of Lord of the Flies references I heard a month ago.
You're like, hey, I've already
saved
reread
me for
the
the rest
book.
of my life. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So it's really something, and it really makes sense, right? When we start looking inward with ourselves and how quickly that can spread. And we saw that all through Scripture, right from the beginning of God's people, that when it comes to self-preservation, things can get ugly really fast.
Perspective is lost. And
Yes, exactly.
my gosh, and coping skills lost. And
Yes.
So so many of you know, perhaps you've heard of the book, The Road Less Traveled. And Scott Peck is a psychiatrist and author, and he also had another book called The Different Drum. It was many books, but
Okay.
The Different Drum is really good. And it's literally a book about building and living in community.
Okay.
And so I'm all about the verbs. So building and living stands out to me. But he says there's two types of community. There's a real community that takes work and takes the building of relationships. And there's something he calls a pseudo community.
Okay.
And you actually have to be more self-aware. So his one example is when you're walking by somebody in your community, whatever that is, church, organization, and you like, hey, how's it going? But you keep walking.
Right.
So there's kind of like, okay, I care enough to say, hey, good to see you. How you doing? But I don't care enough to stick around for the answer.
Right.
And what's the natural response when you ask someone a question like that and keep walking and they know you're not sticking around? They go, oh, I'm fine, even if they're not fine.
Right.
And that permeates into that community, and it becomes less and less real. It's more superficial.
Sure.
Like people aren't getting their needs met. They don't feel
Right.
trusted. And so then the next question is, what is real community? And I love his response. It is only when people know you in the fullest of your deepest beliefs and convictions, your core of your humanity, and embrace you, that you can feel fully loved and know you are a part of a real community. So right there, you're like, oh my goodness, that's going to take a while. Like, I'm not ready to share my deepest belief. Like, what if they don't like it? Or
Right,
what?
right.
I don't know them enough. Am I going to scare them off? Or,
Right.
it's basically like your core. So, another way to get at that is like, hey, what really feeds your soul? That's like an expression. Like,
Right.
Jesus is all about the heart. Like, what's going on? Like, how you doing? Like, and then that's a question where you don't ask in passing. That's
Right.
a question that you've got some kind of trust in your building where you can sit with each other and go, hey, how's it going?
Right.
How you doing? And you feel safe, and two people start building a relationship in a bigger community, more people, and all of a sudden you've got the best support group. They cheer you on your good days. They're with you on your
Right.
hard days. They show up.
Right.
And Jesus was the one who, first thing he did after he was baptized and went out to the desert and came back, he started recruiting the community of the disciples.
Right.
So what does the environment of the community look like that you're involved in?
Right.
And is there anyone, or do you all kind of be the gatekeeper of that? Like, say someone comes in and they're all about them, or they're trying to lead the community to do something else, and it's hurting the group. Who's the one that goes, you know what? I'm not sure this community is for you. Let me help you find another community. That's like, woo.
Right.
But preserving the community, and we see that in the life of the community of the church all the time. Like, if something's tearing down or someone's tearing down a ministry that is vital, and you've done hey, we've had 3 conversations already, let's really have a real conversation, because
Right.
what's happening is you're diminishing the ministry, and this is no longer a place for you.
Right.
And that people are like, what? The church? What?
Right.
But we're also called to preserve the community, and to live in community, following Jesus. So
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know why my head is going where it is. And
it's gonna be good.
We'll see. We'll see. But something's been really striking me a lot lately when I am just out and about, just doing errands, whatever, in the community, in public. Why I get so much joy out of just a small, kind interaction with other people. And I'm not sure I'm trying to figure out where that stemmed from. I don't know if it's because now I feel like I've been living in Livonia for, gosh, I don't know, 16, 17 years. Longest I've ever lived anywhere in my adult life.
You got roots.
Yeah, maybe. And just, I don't know what it is, but I really find myself getting really excited and just like warm and fuzzy inside when someone just does something randomly nice, whether they just like look at you in passing as you're walking in the store and just smile, or just some gesture that says that they acknowledge your presence. And I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just because as I'm getting older and just more appreciative of the little things, but
Kindness.
But it's, just the kindness. And it just makes me feel more a part of this community, because all these people that I'm interacting with are my community. More than likely, they also live here. So what is that? I don't know. Like yesterday, I went to Costco and I figured out this really cool like back way to go in, and you're going down this alley where the trucks go, but it's really only one car and long building, really long building, and me and another car at either ends, and it's clear. It's like, okay, we both can't drive, but they flash their lights at me to say, I see you, come on by. And just that quick little interaction of just like a wave and a thank you.
Respect.
I got like
too, maybe,
the whole
like,
tingly, like, oh, that's so nice. They saw me and they were kind and they weren't,
and they weren't
I don't know
beeping
what's
their
up
horn.
with that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Is it because we don't see that enough, or
I think so.
I'm not sure, but I also think that's one of the cool things about just being able to live in community.
Yeah.
And just be grateful of where you live and being grateful for small kindnesses. I don't know.
Yeah. You just don't see them as much. I think the expectation for hospitality and being kind, opening doors, saying hello. I get asked a lot in Kroger can you reach that on the top shelf? I'd like step on the bottom shelf.
People never ask me for that. I wonder why.
I did. I had one of my shirts on. It was a staff shirt, and it had my name Kellie in the back, big.
Yeah.
And I hit Kroger one day, and I'd say 5 aisles at least, people would walk by me and go, "Hey, Kellie."
Oh, that's
and I'd be
fun.
Like, oh, I don't know you. Cool. Hi. It was so
But that's
fun.
fun, right? I mean, it's cool.
I almost wanted to step on the cart and be like those commercials where I was
Right.
like, wee.
Okay.
So, Kate, we're gonna do an experiment. We're gonna put your name really big on the back of your shirt and put you in public places and see how many
love
people
that.
go, "Hey, Kate."
That'd be fun.
Wouldn't that be great?
That could be a cool TikTok video, I bet.
Oh, that would be great.
Okay. So, of course, I'm sure it goes without saying that we have plenty of biblical examples of God's intention for his community and God's intention for how we live. And, of course, loving your neighbor as yourself, one of Jesus's main commandments. And in one of the Gospels, when I think Jesus is approached and asked, what is the greatest commandment? He says to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And then the person turns around and says, well, who is my neighbor?
Yeah.
And then that's where Jesus goes into I'm assuming, a fairly famous parable of the Good Samaritan. And so that's your neighbor, is the person that's in need, the person that other people are neglecting and forgetting about. And again, when we're operating in community and serving in community, we know who those people are.
Yeah.
And
It's
that
not
gives
an
us-
option. Like if we say we follow Jesus
Right.
and he says, love your neighbor as yourself, it's not about us deciding who our neighbor is. Everyone we encounter is our neighbor.
Right.
Good, bad, or otherwise. Hard to love,
Right.
easy to love.
Exactly.
It's like, oh my goodness gracious. Or there's a wonderful woman at church, and she'll know who she is. She was having difficulty with somebody some years ago, and just, annoying, losing patience, hard personality. And she said what really helped her, she was doing devotions one day, and they said, everyone's a child of God. And she's like, I've read that 1,000,000 times. And then all of a sudden she was like,
Oh, no. Darn it.
he's a child of God too. So what she did is she said she decided that anytime she would encounter this person, she would first go into it like, okay, he's a child of God. I have to keep that in mind by the way I act. And boy, that grows your faith right there. That challenges you to love like Jesus when people are being really hard. So darn
Yes.
Jesus.
Yep. And then another quote, this time coming out of the book of Galatians, which is a letter written by St. Paul. And he says to bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. So kind of the example we already gave, whether it's the flood or other tragedies that happen within a community, when we feel that sense of empathy, we're bearing each other's burdens, and then hopefully when you're bearing someone else's burdens, it's also going to cause you to act one way or another, whatever that looks like. So for us up here in Michigan, looking at the burdens of those in Texas, maybe the best we can do is send $10.
Yeah.
And that'll go really far.
Yeah, and pray. Always
and-
pray.
Well, of course, yes. Yeah, pray. And then, get into the mess with your neighbors and bear their burden, whatever that looks like. And you're going to know what that looks like. You don't need anyone to tell you what that means. So,
And nothing is too little. If you're good at mowing your grass, mow the grass. If you like to cook, bring them a meal. If you want to sit on the porch and just say, "Hey, how's it going today?"
Yep.
Whatever. I mean, that's we have a beloved pastor emeritus named Rick
loves
Peters.
That. He loves that
I
title.
know he doesn't like it at all. So he retired and he was forced to have this title. But one of the things that he was asked at the close of his 20 years at this church was, when people remember you, what do you want them to say about you? And he was very succinct. He said, I want them, when they remember me, to think when that I showed up.
Right.
And it was like, and they were like, can you say more? And he's like, no, not really. Like,
Nothing else to say.
When we follow Jesus,
Right.
and we show up, Jesus shows up. Mm-hmm. And I just want them to remember I showed up. And boy, the simple to the profound. And boy, did he ever. So that's a statement you cannot make unless you live it.
Right. Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Imagine if we all said, we're all going to promise in community to show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when it's not convenient,
Right.
or our head's
Right.
in another place, we just
Right.
show up.
Right. Yes. And then another great quote from Jesus where he says, "Truly I say to you, as you did to one of the least of these, you also did to me." And I think the full context of that is where Jesus says, when I was in jail, you visited me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me water. And he's saying this to his disciples. They're like, well, we never saw you in any of those conditions. And but then his response is, well, if you ever see anybody in these spaces and you take care of them, you're also taking care of me. So.
Yeah, so it's kind of like sometimes Jesus is referred to as like the familiar stranger. And it makes me think of the two disciples on the road to Emmaus, because he's there, but they don't really recognize him.
Yeah.
And he's actually coming to them because they're so upset about his death.
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh. And they're like, don't you know? Like,
Right.
The disciples' famous line to Jesus at every turn.
Yeah.
Don't you get it?
Right.
Don't you know? I would be like putting my palm on my head like, geez, Lord. And then all of a sudden, where do they recognize him? In the breaking of the bread. And it's
At the table.
At the table. So, it's like, wow, the familiar stranger. So as a little kid in Sunday school, it was like, Jesus is always with you. And you're like, oh, yay. And then you're like, oh, wait.
Right.
I started a fight on the playground yesterday. Was Jesus
Right.
with me? Uh-huh.
What's the song? I always feel like somebody's watching me.
That's right. But we don't want to delegate him to Santa with a naughty or nice list. But it's like,
no.
you know what? Here's Jesus, and Jesus is with us. So maybe if we didn't forget that,
Right.
we would speak and act differently. Yeah.
Yep. And then another quote from the book of Hebrews: "Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God." That requires no explanation. Do you want to do the last two scriptures?
1 John 3:17-18. But if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother or sister in need, yet closes his heart against them, how does God's love abide in them? Little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth.
Yep.
So that is convicting, right? We say we love Jesus, we're going to follow Jesus, and all of a sudden we definitely have someone before us in need. We could actually meet the need, and we're like, nah,
Right.
I'm busy today.
Right.
And Jesus is like, so that person, it was me.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, so, yeah.
And actions speak louder than
The
words.
yeah, but used to say walk the walk and talk the talk.
Yeah, exactly.
1 Peter 4:10, which is one of our scripture passages at Rosedale, each has received a gift, use it to serve one another, as good stewards of God's varied grace. So a gift. So we have found if people come to church on a regular basis, but they don't find a way to use their interests or their gifts, they don't tend to be as connected to community.
Right.
Being a part, and literally we have a list that goes from, can you put a roof on a Habitat trip, to, hey, can you help out in the office, answer phones, and collate, paper, whatever it is.
Collate paper cup.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
probably
sure
bad.
that
That's not really
that
right.
happens anymore.
That's right. Put it in the machine so it collates. Pick weeds in the garden. We're open to any and all things. So, but it's true that the more you serve, the more you're engaged in community, and you begin to feel like you have more of a share in it.
Yeah.
It begins to shape you, and it shapes the group. And so basically, I look at a passage like that and think Jesus is like, I want you in the game, not on the sidelines.
Yeah.
That would
Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I think I just really want football season.
Yeah. Don't we all?
It's getting closer, but it's still so far away.
Yes. I'm not sure us Lions fans have been ever more excited to get back on the field. We're just like, so close.
Man.
So close.
Hey, I have an example to share.
Okay, cool.
And usually an example for me is a story, but this is a different example. It's a call to worship.
Oh,
And,
interesting. Okay.
And I think it really is the most inviting. I can't take credit for it. It was written by Reverend Mindy Welton Mitchell.
Okay.
And it's short and sweet, but we've used it. I think I've used it recently, and it just kind of shapes the beginning of the service when you're welcoming.
Yeah.
So here it is. For those who have not been welcomed before, you are welcomed by Christ here. For those who have been turned away, Christ is opening the door for you. For those who have been forgotten, God cannot forget you, for God made you. Come, join together in worship of our God. You are God's beloved. We welcome each other in the name of Christ. Amen.
Hey.
And I just think that's so great. Like, if you've been forgotten by church, if you're in a world and you don't feel very welcomed or belonging, we're going to set the stage right at the beginning. And so that does two things. It's really inviting.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be what people expect if they've had bad incidences in church, and it also holds us accountable. If we're saying these words and it's a leader response, then we're committing to those words.
Right.
And what it does is, if something is different from those words, we can get held accountable for that. Well, you say you're welcoming, but this just happened to me, and I just love. It's like, come join together in worship. Mm-hmm. I don't know, it's so welcoming. It's probably my favorite call to worship.
Or for the sake of this podcast episode, come join together in community service. Be a part of your community around you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the invitation. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. And I also think the more that we're part of our community and involved, the more we can let the walls between us break down. Mm-hmm. Just because then you get to see people for who they are, you get to understand them better, instead of just being all in our own little silos and having our own opinions and our own judgments. When you get to be in one another's world, then you get to see where they're coming from, and see them for the human beings that they are, and get a better understanding of why they believe what they believe and do what they do. And yeah.
I just recently ran across a little quote about that those who complain the most often do the least amount.
Right.
And those who do the most, work,
very
rarely complain. Right. So there's this thought behind it. There's people complaining, and they have no idea that what they're complaining about, they have no idea what that lifestyle or what that life is like or what's going on. They want to complain. Right. And here's people at work, and they don't complain. Right. And I just, so to me, that's faithfulness. Right. Being faithful.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we are at the time of wrapping up this episode, and I get the joy of offering up your blessing today, and found this awesome blessing from, I wish I was friends with her, because I bet she'd be really cool. Her name is Kate Bowler. And of course, her name is cool. So wonderful author. And I think you originally introduced me to her.
Yeah, great
Kellie.
podcaster too.
Haven't heard any of her podcasts, but her book, Good Enough, you gave that to me,
Yes.
right? Fantastic book called Good Enough. And I have since given that to many other people. But anyway, found this, and I got this off of her website, and she apparently had shared this when she was on someone else's podcast. So, that'd be so great. Hey, Kate, if you're listening, I'd love to have you on our podcast, please, someday.
Right.
So anyway, this is your blessing today, is written by Kate Bowler. So bless you all in these beautiful, terrible contradictions. You who serve others, knowing it comes at a steep cost. That time you'll never get back. Those people who won't ever be as grateful as you hope. The paycheck or PTO or benefits that will never add up to enough. May you be reminded that maybe you were called for such a time as this, to pour out your great, great gifts for the sake of the other, to work toward this beautiful, terrible interdependence, even if community is much easier in theory than in practice. And on the days where you feel like your work is just a drop in the ocean, or you want to throw in the towel because you are far beyond burnt out, may joy and delight be yours, my dears, and may it fuel the hard, beautiful work you do. And hey, if you're just beginning to move towards service, and you have the eyes to see the needs in front of you, the places where your gifts and passions and resources meet your community's deep needs, or if you're just starting to ask for help yourself, bless you. May your courage be met with kindness.
Wow.
Isn't that like the best thing ever written?
Gosh.
Yes.
Every line is
Yes.
wonderful.
Powerful, powerful, powerful.
And it's so relatable.
Yes.
She gives words to feelings.
She does.
That's really powerful.
She does. So thank you, Kate, for those words. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And as always, like, subscribe, comment, give us some feedback on all of our social platforms. We'd love to meet you there and get to know you better. So
Yeah.
until we meet again, my friends, may God bless you.
Yeah. And may the peace of Christ be with you.